Have you even been on a Clubhouse?
I went on there like a week ago, and yeah, it was
It's
that
just
shit was that shit was so fucking that shit was so fucking interesting and just sad at the same fucking time. I swear.
it's a
I
lot
go
of
in
the more of the same shit, and I always go on there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
you go in there and it's like, and most of the time when I go in those rooms is in the ones where people talk about like streaming and gaming and shit like that. And they all pretty much rookies. But then you listen to some of them talk, you would think they were like just straight fucking just beasts out here on the streaming thing. Where they at like 200-300 people in their streams every day, and they just be killing it out here. And I ain't gonna lie, I told them right. I've told them before. I'm like, this is the common denominator that I see in a lot of them. I told them, I'm like, when y'all be in here talking, the best thing about Clubhouse is that shit forces you to prove yourself. Because when you talk it, I'm gonna check you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check you out and see what you about, bro. When I tell you, I go on these fucking streams, right? I either the common denominator 9 times out of 10, none of them are actually fucking streaming.
Yeah,
That's the
there's
craziest
a
part
there's a
about it.
lot of talk, and
Yup.
I think you were in the room with me when it happened when someone was like, "Yeah, I'm a Twitch partner," and then everyone called him out. Was
Oh,
like, "Wait, are you a
that was
partner?"
me. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't
And I
have
was like,
partnership.
you a partner, and I looked. I'm like, dude, you not partner. Fam. He like, yeah, I applied, and he like, yeah, because I averaged like 300 people or some shit. And I think somebody had raided him or some shit, and he had like
That was
300
his
people in
top.
there or some shit.
That's not his average.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's the most you ever had in there, fam. That ain't what you averaging. Like you can average 300 that night and average zero the next. You still averaging 150. That ain't concurrent. Like real shit. And I told him that shit. And I called him out on that shit. He's like, I wasn't trying to be that guy, but somebody had to bust his bubble. I'm like, look, you applied. That's all it was. He like, oh, well, I assumed that when you apply, you automatically get accepted. So I'm like, see, this is the shit. This is
No.
the disconnect, man. That I like. It's people that's been getting denied 6, 7 times. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. Like I go in those rooms, man, where they be talking, and I told them this. I'm like, man, a lot of times y'all in here talking. One thing I noticed that none of y'all are actually fucking streaming. I'll look on y'all shit, and the last time you streamed was 9 days ago, 13 days ago, 12 days ago, shit like that. So my question to you is, why are you in here talking about this if you're not doing it, not applying it? Why are you asking me 100 questions? Because when they see, when first thing they do when they hear you talking, they click on your shit. You know what I'm saying? They look at your shit, and they're like, with me, they see that check mark by your shit. They just instantly think you got the secret sauce, right? And I told them, I'm like, that don't mean shit. I'm like, that don't mean shit. It's affiliates that's on their way to getting partner that probably average more people than I do right now. So that don't really mean shit.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just telling y'all from experience, the shit that I see, like a lot of them come in here. I'm like, and a lot of y'all come in here, and it's people, all of y'all are on the same level, and people are telling you what you should do. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, look, I would never, I don't know about you, but I would never take criticism from someone I wouldn't take advice from. So stop fucking listening to people that's on your level or a level lower than you, because if if they don't know what the fuck they doing, how they gonna tell you what you doing? That's the blind leading the blind, and I tell them that all the time. Like, stop fucking doing that shit.
it's a.
Listen to
I I want to mention this because it also sucks seeing the same people in Clubhouse. Like it don't matter what time, but you see them in there like no matter what time it is,
all day.
because that just shows me you want to. Yeah, you do want to learn, but then that means you're not putting whatever you're learning into whatever you need to. That's
Right.
why I don't go on there like every day anymore because I
You,
be seeing the same people. I'm like, all right, well, I don't need to be in there.
right.
Did
You can't learn how to make no fucking eggs Benedict by watching goddamn it Iron Chef and you can't watch Gordon Ramsay on TV all day. At some point you're gonna have to stand in front of that fucking stove and do the shit yourself.
trial and error.
I'm like, yeah, that's all it is. Like you gotta figure this shit out. And I tell them all the time, like I have people, so many people when I go in them rooms, man, they start DMing me, they start following me on Instagram and Twitter and shit. and they start DMing me, asking me, saying, "Oh, yo, can you come to my stream and check my show?" I'm like, "No. How about y'all start doing this? Why don't you watch somebody that's more experienced than you are? Take something that they do and fucking, use that to yourself. It's not copying them. It's just taking something. It's just taking something that someone else is doing that you could probably apply for your own shit. I'm like that's what y'all need to start doing instead of just waiting for someone, because y'all know we live in an instant gratification era. So everybody wants something without putting in the work. And I told them that, like, y'all gotta stop fucking doing that, man. Like, y'all going, and then you had that one person that want to talk and talk and talk. I'm like, let me ask you something, man. You know me, I ain't got no problem calling no fucking body out.
Yep.
Like, let me ask you something. What do you do? And it was a dude, I actually watched him earlier today, that does nothing but talk every time, and he talks over people when they talk and shit like that. And I looked up, he was playing some bullshit ass game. And what's crazy was, he had the title of the game he was playing was Dead by Daylight, which he wasn't playing. And I'm like, so right there, that's already a red flag to me. Like, you're not even playing the game that you say you playing. I'm like, you got to learn how to update your shit, because you're trying to attract that Dead by Daylight audience, but you playing something else. Why don't you just attract the people with your personality? And newer people, of course, they're gonna search certain games. So whatever game you playing, you're trying to capitalize on that audience, hopefully. But some of these people, they don't fucking listen. I just be like, okay, well, y'all keep on doing that shit. And when y'all, 6 months later, you still streaming in front of 3 people and 2 of them are your friends, and the other one is you. You know what I'm saying? Then come tell me how much you know now. You know what I mean? That's how I got to look at it, because some of them, they really don't fucking listen, man. They really think they be knowing what they talking about. Now just being there talking. And like you said, it be the same fucking people in there. I'm like, y'all spending too much time in here talking about it and not enough time on Twitch or Facebook or whatever it is you do your
Or
shit
is the
at.
people getting
Not doing
mad
it.
that you don't follow for them?
Oh,
Huh?
that
Huh?
shit. Oh
what
yeah,
you
yeah,
doing here?
yeah. I
You,
remember
you
that.
don't follow
Yeah,
nobody.
that
That's
pussy boy,
wild.
that dude he was hot, wasn't he? That motherfucker was like,
It showed me
that
a lot,
motherfucker was
man.
like, right. He was like, that show would be exactly what the fuck that was. And that's all Clubhouse is, yo.
It's
And I
so
told people that
disappointing.
before. All that shit is a fucking dick swinging contest of who's the most fake important, fake popular person. It's like, yeah, you might have 1,000 people following you, but you gotta follow 989 of them back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Shit like that. Dude said he only followed like 50 people. You know what I'm saying? And he got over 300 or whatever it was. He's like, yeah, I follow him. He didn't follow. For what, nigga? Like,
Like
what do you do that make,
I,
like, nigga, you need my advice. You should want to see what I'm doing. I don't need nothing from you. I've
it's
always been like that with social media, bro. You look at my Twitter shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at, like,
hmm
same shit. I don't sub to a lot of people on YouTube. I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter. I don't follow a lot of people on Instagram. I don't follow a lot of people on Clubhouse. I follow people that interest me, or that's something that they doing that I may potentially be interested in. My thing is, I'm not gonna. That sound like 2011 YouTube, bro. Follow for follow, and that's
yeah.
all Clubhouse is when you think about it. It's just a big ass fucking gathering, a bunch of motherfuckers that ain't got shit else to do right now but talk on the phone. That's all that shit is,
The
bro.
way I look at Clubhouse, and I finally, when that guy said that to you, I finally realized the disconnect. Like there's some people who go on Clubhouse looking for an audience to reach out. So that's when you get those follow for follows, or like, hey yo, I'm streaming, come check me out, blah blah. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
that's not where I'm going to Clubhouse for. I'm going to Clubhouse for the actual sponsorships, the actual, like, the advice on YouTube analytics or stuff like that. The higher up stuff where
Right.
you can't reach out to, like, the CEOs and shit like that. That's what I go to Clubhouse for. And I'm gonna follow them. I'm not gonna get mad that they're not gonna follow me. All I'm looking for is information. But these other people are looking for numbers. That's not what I'm there for. I don't care if I follow 1,000 people and I have like one follower. Like, that's not what I'm there for. And I feel like that's where a lot of I don't know, a lot of opportunities are missed when it comes to, like, platforms like that. That's why you have other platforms creating that Clubhouse um type of shit, like Twitter and stuff like that, are finally starting to come out.
Yeah, it's just it's really like, it has so much potential, and then for some reason it just died out quickly for me. Like real shit. It's like I remember we was talking like, yo, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this, and we could do this. And I thought about, and I think once we seen that shit that's coming with Twitter, that Twitter space shit coming,
Yeah.
we was like, man, fuck Clubhouse, bro. Cause you know what? We already got the following on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it'll be so much easier to just like walk right in the door. We walk right in the fucking front door, and it's like, boom, we already good. I mean, you just incorporate what you already doing and what you already know, cause it's just crazy.
Yeah. One thing I want like people to at least take away from whatever Clubhouse comes from. Take the knowledge and then actually put it to use. Don't just sit there and like gain, sitting there thinking that you're gaining all this knowledge for later. Once you get a little bit of knowledge that you figure out like you can put to use, put it to use, man. Don't just sit there. Cause I see a lot of people sitting there gaining knowledge and then spewing recycled knowledge out, thinking that
Mm-hmm.
they're saying something, and it's a rinse and repeat. And that's all the Clubhouse is, a rinse and repeat. You'll like from the Twitch side of things, we try to, talk to people, and I've noticed, you get the same questions here and there, but there weren't really like
Oh yeah.
they weren't really
Get them shits
questions where people are thinking outside the box. They're still thinking about how do I
same
stream
generic
this?
question.
How would I?
Mm-hmm.
What questions? What I want to hear, to be honest, is actually like, yo, to get in the gaming industry, to do interviews on E3, like, how was that? How do you like that type of stuff where it's not gonna just grow your Twitch, but it's gonna grow your brand? Because I think as GI, we've done, we've done everything. So
Pretty much.
I don't know. I disappointing, disappointing.
It Yeah, it's really disappointing because you try. Like my thing was, and I told people before, I'm like, I'm not on here I'm not gaining anything by being on here talking to y'all. And I've told them that. I'm like, I don't get anything out of this. What? A couple of y'all are coming to stream every now and again, be like, yo, what's good? All right, that's cool. But I mean, y'all want people to come in y'all shit and all this is like you doing this shit to get people to come and watch you. It's like you can't you can't fucking force feed support. You know what I mean? You can't do that. Like people gotta you gotta like I always say it like this. If you somebody told me this, and this was one of them funny things, another funny thing I heard in this Clubhouse shit, right? We was
Mm-hmm.
talking about, different, being different and standing out. And one guy was like, yeah, I play Warzone and blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing different? Like, well, to be honest with you, I feel like when you doing that, you're not even in competition with nobody. You're only in competition with yourself. I'm like, let me stop you right there, fella. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. I'm like, because you are in competition. It's no different than, what I'm saying, being owning a barber shop. You know what I'm saying, being here, doing this, doing that. What is like, yeah, you are in competition. Like because if 60 different people is playing Warzone, what's making me want to watch the 61st person, which is you? What are you doing? Because it's the same fucking game. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing that's making me want to watch you? I mean, is it your gameplay? Because if I just want to watch somebody be good at the game, I'll watch a pro player. You know what I mean? That's just what I be telling them, and they don't get it. And I'm like, okay, so is your personality worth anything? What are you doing? I'm not saying that you're not gonna have similarities in people, but it's not like okay, you got to be this much better and stuff like that because there's always gonna be somebody better than you. But what are you doing different to make it as an alternative? It's just like playing fucking like some people like playing simulation games. Some people like playing 2K and NBA Live. Other people, they style is more like playing fucking NBA Jam or you know what I mean, them types of games because it's less complex to them, and that's the lane they rather be in. So like my thing is, are you an alternative to everybody else that's playing it? And when I explained it, he was like, and everybody was like, how they started clicking the
Yeah.
mic on and off, like they're applauding, like this dude know what the
Yeah.
fuck he talking about. Cause I told him like, bro, I ain't trying to call you out like that, but at the same time, I had to stop you because you was spewing some nonsense right there. You are always in competition because Twitch is so overly saturated nowadays, especially with the pandemic and shit like that. People got nothing else to do. I'm like, you are in constant competition with everybody else that's on this app because you're either gonna be a product to the algorithm or a victim of it. So that's what you need to look at. I mean, so which one do you want to be? You want to be a product of the algorithm or you want to be a victim of the algorithm? So, what I mean? Yeah, it might be some girl that ain't even half as good as you that's getting more people coming to her stream because you know what I'm saying, and she may have a little more personality or she just might be cute. That's just the way the shit goes. and people get salty about that. I don't really give a fuck personally. You know what I mean? Because I stay in my own fucking lane. I worry about what me and GI is doing. But stop making excuses and just start bettering your content. I mean, you don't go and break the bank. People ask me all the time, how much did this cost? How much would you think I should spend on this camera and all this other shit? I'm like, does it fucking matter if no one's in there to see you? Like, worry about the shit you need to worry about. Don't blow your fucking savings on bullshit that you have no use for right now. Get people to get invested into your personality first. So I just feel like people be worrying about the wrong shit because they see what everybody else is doing. Like, don't be everybody else. Stop worrying about they. Stop worrying about you.
Not gonna lie,
That's it.
especially in Clubhouse, I feel like uh that's why I actually liked you on Clubhouse, and because as you sit there and you see the surroundings of everybody,
Mm-hmm.
I already know what people are looking for. Like you, when they come to you, they don't like actually run into a lot of people like Flock, and I could tell because when they would say something like, "Oh yeah, I'm just against myself," I understand where it's like you want to be positive and look for for the better progress or whatever, but there's also a self-awareness that I see a lot of these people on Clubhouse don't understand. And when you say things to them like, well, that's bullshit, they need to hear that because
Yeah.
it's a very dangerous game to play, to not to be self-aware and keep pushing.
Yeah, it's a difference between being optimistic and realistic. And I'm cut from the cloth of realism. That's just all it is. It's like that's cool to have that mentality, but also keep in mind that this is like if you planning for peace, you best be prepared for war. That's just my mentality. It's like, yeah, I want to see everybody, holding hands and getting along and shit like that, but I'm also prepared for guns blazing and being able to defend myself and what I'm saying, be prepared for the bullshit and for the
Hmm.
okie doke too. So that's all.
And and one thing I'll say is you could actually tell on Twitch there's nobody that's on top, that I would say, that doesn't take it as a job. So
Mm,
you're for all these people, going into it as a hobby, you're gonna get hobby, um, like
results.
results. Yeah, like, so don't go into it be like, I want a partnership, because you're not thinking of it as a partner. Like, partners think of it as a job. So you got to think of it as a job. You got to actually not just put the hours in. You think just playing games, nah. Because guess what? If you go to your job and you're getting whack results, then they're gonna fire you. So
Yeah,
improve where you have to, cause I'm telling you, content creation is not for everybody. It
it
is
definitely
not for
isn't. You see,
everybody.
you see somebody else doing it, and just because you enjoy watching them do it, you instantly think, "Oh shit, I can do that." And then when you get into it, you realize, like, damn, this shit ain't fun as I thought it was gonna be. I'm telling you, man, I see that shit all the fucking time. And one of the things that I explain to them all the time, I hear people say, "Yeah, well, I was streaming. I'm streaming like 5 days a week. I was streaming the other day for like 12 hours and shit like that." And then you hear a motherfucker like me say, this is funny because it's true. Like real shit. I say, dude, I got partner streaming 3 days a week, like 2 hours a day. Like real shit. Like I think the longest I've ever streamed was 4 hours. That's the longest I've ever streamed was 4 hours in a day. So my thing is quality over quantity.
Yep.
And I'm like, and that's what worked for me. But then again, I found what worked. I knew what my lane was in order to get where I was trying to go. So and some people hear me say that shit and they be like, oh shit, well, and if that's the case, and I always tell them, I'm like, look, this was what worked for me. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna translate for you because me and you are two different personalities. I have what you call a type A personality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people fuck with me. And then when I was saying that shit about like being realistic and stuff like that, that shit reminds me of the GI audience. Like 70% of the GI audience. A lot of them, and if they listening or whatever, hit it somewhere, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of them can't take criticism. A lot of them can't take that real shit coming their way. Like a lot of people want to be coddled and pat on their back and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna piss on you and tell you it's raining outside. I'm saying, yeah, nigga, that was piss. You know what I'm saying? Like, move out the way next time. So that's what I'm gonna tell you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, woo 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 woo, it'll be okay. No, that's what you want life to be, bro. Like, you see what the fuck we going on out here, what the fuck we going through out here and what's going on. Like, life will put a foot in your ass, like real shit. And I'm just the one that's gonna tell you, like, look, this is what I hope would happen for you, but in actuality, this is what's more likely to happen for you if you don't change. Because you keep doing the same shit and expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So I don't know what to tell motherfuckers, man. Like that's why a lot of GI audience don't like me, because they don't like hearing that real shit. Everybody want smoke blown up their ass. I'm just not gonna be the one to do it for you. Tell your mama to do that shit, and you keep falling on your fucking face in the process. Hey man, somebody gotta say it, man. Fuck all that shit. Like, man, like it's cool, man. Like everybody, like you gotta realize sometimes y'all got people that's out here with you, you know what I'm saying, doing this shit, you know what I'm saying, with you. And you gotta realize, like, sometimes you outgrow people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes everybody that started the race with you ain't meant to finish it with you. I mean, sometimes you got motherfuckers that's with you that's holding you back. So it's a lot of different things that it could be, man. Y'all just gotta start seeing shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just gotta
Definitely.
start seeing all the signs.
There's definitely signs out there that people don't be looking at, or they stay
Yeah,
blind to.
yeah. Loyalty is blinding, man. Loyalty is blinding, and ambition can be blinding too. It's like sometimes it's cool to have drive. It's great to have ambition and inspiration and shit like that. But my thing is stay inspired. Don't stay inspired by the exact same thing all together. It's like start looking for a different hustle. You know what I mean? Start different for a different lane. Like what you really, really think you want to do may not be for you, may not be in the cards for you. I mean, you may have to find a different way to get to that eventually and use something else as a stepping stone. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is, man. Like hell, I want to see somebody be that success story that say, "Yo, I wanted to be, you know, what I'm saying, the head designer of this, and this corporation," but you had to start off as the fucking mail clerk. You know what I'm saying? You had to start off like opening mail and delivering papers and shit, like the stock boy or some shit, and then eventually you ended up running the whole fucking company. That I don't mind hearing that type of success story because you started from the fucking bottom.
There's so many different types of stories that, like, as you say that, like, I've said before, reason why content creation or any of like Twitch streaming is like so fucking difficult. There's no blueprint to it. There's no like right answer. Like, like with another job, like you'd be like, yeah, you could just go over to this department, go over here, go underneath.
Read this book.
Yeah, read this. Nah, not with content creation. Content creation is, listen, you gotta try and try again. and and everyone looked at like streaming. Let's just give that as an example. They look at the streaming part, but like, oh, you just stream, play games. Nah, but goes around
Right.
as just GI with taking my experience. There's streaming. There's a post production stuff. There's getting your clips, putting onto a different platform. There's your social media presence. There's your there's like, if you don't have an agent, you gotta talk to your sponsorships and all that by yourself. Lucky enough, we have a team that we all of us
Bounce off each other.
bounce it off each other. Exactly. We do all that, and I don't think a lot of people take that into account when it comes to like getting a partnership or even just trying to reach out for something else.
Right. Them people in Clubhouse look at you like you be lying. Like I heard them say that before. Like, yeah, we hear partners say, "Oh, you just gotta grind. You gotta grind." What's the grind? Because you guys are doing. I'm like, the thing is, you gotta know what grind, what route you need to take. It's a million paths to take, but you gotta figure out which one is truly straight. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole part of the grind, and that's the best part about knowing, because I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for what JG, TBH, you know what I'm saying, and fucking Ethos did. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for them dudes. I can't speak for what they did, you know what I'm saying, to get partner. I can only speak for what I did to get partnered on Twitch. You know what I mean? My shit was a different path. You know what I'm saying? I found something that people fuck with me, you know what I'm saying, doing, and they enjoyed doing, and it was like you basically build your streams off of anticipation and speculation. You know what I'm saying? They speculating when and they anticipating what. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. And then when they start seeing, okay, what are you gonna do to top this? And if you ain't doing shit to top what you did the last time, then you basically a one-hit fucking wonder. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna start falling off. But when you keep giving the people what they want, then do it. Don't start doing this shit and then you start trying to flip it because you see, you know what I'm saying, this person doing something, and now all of a sudden you want to try that. That worked for them. That shit ain't gonna necessarily work for you. So I keep telling people all the time, and it's like, look, you have to find what works. Only you gonna find out. You will figure out what works, and the people will tell you what works because they'll keep coming back and they will constantly tell you, "Yo, we was fucking with that. Do more of that." And when you start seeing them numbers dwindle, start paying attention to them analytics and shit like that. I was an analytical freak, bro. Like I was paying attention to all that shit. And I was telling them that shit. These people that had no clue on what the fuck I was talking about when I was like, look at them analytics. Look at this. I asked them about like y'all affiliates. Yeah. All right. Y'all taking advantage of these bounties. What's that? I'm like, oh my God. All right, man. Like, I'm like, y'all didn't ever get them even. I'm like, oh no, I ain't never seen. I'm like, you probably got it and you just didn't pay no attention to it. Like, that's another way of getting easy money. Like, motherfuckers getting, you know what I'm saying? Free, you getting a game for free and you getting paid to play it. I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but shit, you can't beat that. So I was like, y'all gotta start paying attention to shit, man.
They
Y'all just boot up. Y'all just boot up and then
that's it.
suit up and boot up. And that's
I
all y'all
actually
do.
I actually know so many people that have crazy like 8 hours a day of streaming, and the reason why they don't grow is actually because they don't look into like the other parts of growing a platform, which is just going on social media, going making clips, making videos,
Mm-hmm.
having a TikTok, pointing it like there's a lot to the shit that is actually you gotta learn. And I don't
Right. You
I
could
don't
grow on TikTok.
I
It
don't
ain't
want to
just
fault them
Twitch.
to not know, but to keep going
Not
and
even try. Not
not
even
try.
try to. Yeah. Not even try to find out what other route you could take to do better. You just constant. It's like you. It's like you jumping rope in quicksand. That's what that shit. That's what that shit. You know what I'm saying? Seems like to me. It's like you're jumping rope in quicksand. I'm like, you think you staying above, you know what I'm saying, but you really not. You falling down slowly, 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 like you going low, 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 until eventually you are under the motherfucking dirt. Like that's what you're doing to yourself a great disservice by not fucking like doing your research on that shit. Me personally, I don't have a TikTok. I have no need for it, at least right now. I'm like, I feel like if I think I could have been one of them motherfuckers. Like if I really tried to do that shit, I would be good, really good at it because I know I can say some shit sometimes that make motherfuckers be like, oh my God, why the fuck do you say that? And I'm pretty quick with it, so I can come up with a little different shit. But I don't know. I ain't got no interest in that shit right now. So I just don't have no interest in it. But I also use, but what helps me is that I use my Twitter as a tool to help. You know what I mean? So when I post clips of, you know, us laughing about some shit on a stream or whatever, people that usually don't come in the stream be like, yo, I got to come in there. You know what I mean? I got to come in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I got to see this shit live. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing little clips of the shit. Like I want to be in there when it's really going down. Boom. Thank you. But yeah, them motherfuckers on on Clubhouse is a trip, bro.